Hey guys. Oh, here. Yeah, here we go. It's Jim Bounds with Motorhome Rehab Ranch and episode 6. We're starting to sound like a Dick Tracy episode here. Well, I wanted to stop. I want to stop for a second, slow back, and let's take in what we just did, and let me make you a few comments, okay? I started out as a GM floor plan, and if I run into a Royale or something, I will set it up as this, okay, to make it more uniform to what I'm used to. Now, that's the thing, what I'm used to. All right. Henry Ford's first car had bicycle tires, but he figured out very quickly that he needed more traction. All right. The first time you do something, you give it your best shot. He did too, pretty dadgum good too. But then you learn as you do things, right? The problem is you only have one motorhome, all right? So I'm showing you where I kind of morphed to, or where I ended up after 25 years of doing this, all right? That is not to say it's the only way to do it, all right? I appreciate all the comments. I answer every one of them, by the way, so if you want to talk to me or whatever, just send me a comment, man. I appreciate them. And one of the guy said, man, I wish I had seen that before I started mine. Oh, I'm sorry. And you know something? In the excitement of all of this, you guys call in and all this, I get excited and I want to do more and more and faster and faster. I got to slow down. These videos, they've gotten beyond my materials. All right. You got to understand, up until last year, I didn't have any problem with materials at all. I had everything I needed. And in this discovery and doing these videos, part of that discovery part is to find where I can use materials that you guys can pretty easily get. Now, it's getting a lot easier to get stuff now because up until about a year or so ago, nobody other than specially plywood places knew what 1/8-inch plywood was. Kind of looked at you funny. That's why I got them at Dixie Ply or A&M or whoever. Come to find out that Home Depot does have an SKU for 1/8-inch plywood. So Home Depot is your go-to part for the plywood. So the discovery of finding where I'm able to get this stuff is part of the journey here, part of the knowledge that we're creating, okay? So the plywood was pretty easy to find. The rest of the materials to do what we've done here, that's all I really needed. That and my, always know where it is, I don't know right now, my Olfa knife. You see how important that Olfa knife was. And once you have one, if you're a tenor, you'll smile and understand this. But once you have one of these and you use that in your work, you always know where that Olfa knife is, and you always have extra blades, right? And I'll challenge you guys, if you pick up an Olfa Silver and 50-pack of blades, and man, I should get paid from Olfa for this. But once you have that Olfa Silver, it's a well-balanced knife, you know, and it's a sharp blade every time. It's a very, very nice thing. They even make little pouches for it. Well, pin pouch works great for one, you know. I had my Batman utility belt for years, carrying my Olfa knife, blades, meter, crimper. Yeah, let's not get into that. All right, so the materials came out pretty good. Now, here, come on over here and let me, there we go. Let me direct your attention to what I did. All right. Now, this pattern that I made this pattern from was one that I grabbed off the bench, all right, and took out because there's like a half dozen of them there at any given time because somebody always makes another one. It's almost so easy just to cut a board, put it in there, and mark what's there, than to go snoop around for a pattern. So what they always did is just made another one. I grabbed one, looked like it would be a good one, and it is. Fits here, the exact height, boom, you saw that. But down here, if you can see that as it comes around and it's even with the frame, it kind of goes proud here, maybe about a half an inch. You go, what's going on with this? Oh, whoever cut this pattern used the bottom of the screen. In other words, they used this, which actually, what I'm going to do on mine, and you should have because you make your pattern and you followed this frame. You came right along this frame. Well, see, I'm that much high. Okay. So after you do one, remember I told you you cover, you fit, you cut, you fit, then you finish, and then you install. Now, where are we? We're at the cut and the fit, the first fit. Yep, she fits. All right. But in reality, there's a piece of tape up there. But in reality, before we finish it, in other words, before we put a covering on it, what we're going to do is going to look at it real carefully. Be sure that it fits exactly where you want it to be. Because what you're going to do is we're going to cover this one piece, put it in, and then fit the next piece to it. I'm not going to take all this stuff to the bench and cover it and then go try to fit it. Oh, no. You can see when somebody does that. That's the one step. If you're going to fit and finish one board at a time, that's exactly right. Yes, it takes more time. Oh, I got to set this. Watch how I do it, all right? Won't be that bad. But the thing is, you're not just going to get in there and get greasy and put all and cover everything. No. Because remember, this is a custom fit. That's part of the custom fit. So I'm going to cover this. Now, we'll get into what kind of covering on another, the next episode, whatever. But look at colors. Think about colors a little bit. Think about texture. Okay. Think about how easy it is to work with. Okay. I'll give you an example on carpet. Unless you are a binder, okay, and you want it between 2.66 and 1, I would not use Berber because where you cut it, you've got to bind it. You got to stop it because it'll run, okay? And Berber doesn't have any gimp. Say gimp. If your cut's a little bit off here, the pile will make up the difference. On a Berber, the base of the carpet is what you see. You follow? So that's one on carpet, and we'll get into carpet later. This is not the only way to do it, all right? And it's but it's a product of me trying to do my best on a obsession of a coach, all right, one after another. And, just like this is not the only way to do it. And you know what's going to end up? In the next series, I like my headline. I've had several comments, even though it's got a little bow to it. It actually adds character. I've had several people say they really like it. But I can see already, I already ripped this up to show you guys what's going on. I can tell you what's going to happen I'm going to be doing my headliner too. And that's okay. Here's the thing. I didn't have to evacuate the thing. Okay. Even though Janie said, "Oh, it's terrible in there." I cleaned it up for an hour and it was all nice. And she was happy with it. So I did not put the coach down. I did one section. And that's the key I wanted to tell you. You can do, now that you understand their sections, by the way, that key I said 5 inches. If you go to your passenger side to the door and you put in your panel and you measure, you do all the measurements and you make the panel that goes into the back to the door is 5 inches. Yeah. So the passenger side is exactly 5 inches. And then you make up the top and bottom. I think it was 4 feet, 48 inches, each one of those. So now that we've got this thing kind of modularized or so sectioned, okay, you can work on the top section by itself. You can work on each side upper by themselves, or each one of the lowers by themselves. And the better part about that in the future, you can actually work on any one of those quadrants without taking the other ones out. You see what I mean? So I think GM, I think if they didn't think about this, it was a product of doing things in an orderly fashion. It made that possible, if you will. And understanding that. Now, my next section, which would be very interesting, is going to be the galley over here. Let me see if I can swing this over and look. Yeah, my galley right there. Okay. And what we're going to do is this overhead cabinet right here. Okay. It's going to have to come out of there. All right. It's going to have to come out because this microwave over here is going to come out. But I need to get to the back of this window, right? Why? Because the back of the window is where I've got the closeout. So I can do a section at a time, but you got to do it in an order, if you will. All right? In an order of some sort. I'm waiting for materials. Okay? The H mold or the divider. I've got some material. So we're going to go ahead and do the next series on covering the panels. But I'm going to do one. Yeah, I'll be able to do all the covering, so we'll be able to do that video in sequence. But as soon as that's done, then we're going to go to the galley. Now, the interesting part of the galley, if you notice my galley counter is a prefab. It's from IKEA. It's their 5-foot mini kitchen. And you know something? GM made your cabinet, take your measure out, exactly 5 feet. Yeah. So I braved one day to go into IKEA. It's scary in there. I want out. I want to always see the daylight. You can't do that. Can't do that in there. But I went in there with Janie and I saw that kitchen, So I'm thinking that 5 feet, blah, blah, blah. And so I made that work. Now that is in the lower part of the galley. Now the galley, again, is a section, right? The galley has a lower, which has the cabinet. And then it has the upper, and then it has the headliner. Now that headliner goes into the refrigerator cabinet because that section goes right to the wall where it goes into the cabinets in the bathroom. That's the next section. Make sense? So we're just in our first section. Okay. Yeah, I had a good friend of mine that's not into GMC, and I was explaining to him what I'm doing. And he asked me a question. He said, "Well, what's going to happen when you just talk about all of it? Get it all talked out?" Well, I just I just broke up the motorhome into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. And each section has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Just on the interior, that's another 30, 25 sections. So you see the importance of understanding the concept. You split it into sections. And then you can actually, if you want to just zip to the end, you can just take that section. If you know how to put that section together, and I'm going to get in ahead on it, but when you know how to do those sections, you can just do the coach one piece at a time, not tear it up, not make a mess. And it's a way that we can do it without having a place. It's raining outside today. It's wonderful. Nothing else. I can't work outside. I can't do the finishing. If I were in my shop and it's raining like crazy, I'd go in the shop and I could do everything I wanted. And if you guys have that option, booyah! It's a great thing. But if you don't, and I don't here at the ranch, my big house is a small house. So this is a way that you can do your coach in a do-it-yourself fashion and be successful and look good, not Henry Ford's first car. All right? And it's not like I say, do it this way, because that kills the creativity of it. I would tell you, set this up and see what you can do to add to it. Because that way, it's not like you're starting with the Model T. At least you're starting with the Edsel. Okay? So try this. And you only have to do one section to get good with how you're going to treat each section. Because remember, like the lower section here, that's simple. You just do a perimeter. Put it in. You'll see down at the bottom, there's a groove that the plywood will go into. And you can treat the bottom the same as we did here. You cover with insulation, it really works. Okay? So each section. That's what I wanted to try to show you guys about an interior. That one understanding of doing each section, and not just doing them, but not just the concept, but how to do each one and why, right? That's what I wanted to try to get out. So the next phases or the next episodes of this will go to the next season. How's that? And the next season will be finishing that off and going to the galley and going to each section that I do, and we'll video it and just go through. Now, I love your comments. Please send me the comments, because I draw off of it, and I can change the next episodes as to what you tell me what's going on. Tell me if what's too long. I mean, we're right now at was it 10 minutes, 9 minutes, and we're at 18 minutes. So they're telling me to make these 15 minutes, and we're running almost 25 or 30. So you got to tell me how you feel. Would you like me to draw it out a little more and then add more of your comments into it? That's one way to do this, because you can see this is going to be a long thing here. Now, I'll kill this series, and I'll call it the Galley series or something, so we're not at something like a Bible. But maybe I should slow down a little bit and add some more comments, because that helps me. Right? So let me know. Let me know in the comments on Patreon. There's also comments on YouTube, and I try to get those as well. So let me know how you feel about stuff. And certainly hit like. The whole thing there, like tells YouTube, hey, you're saying something somebody cares about. So that's why the like is there. I don't know if somebody's ever explained it to you, but it helps whoever you like to say that, yeah, these guys like that. And, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And you're not going to get more things that I know of. I mean, they didn't tell me anyway. But so anyway, like and share if this is good for you. If you feel it's good for somebody else, please share that. They also look at that and say, wow, hey, it's good enough the guy wants to let shed his buddy. Not bad. And subscribe. That means that, all right, so now your content and you want to see more of what this dude's saying. And see, and that's the way YouTube looks at the thing. So any participation you can do into YouTube. And if you don't like it, if you think I'm evil, wicked, mean, and nasty, then hit down too. I got to be democratic about it or whatever. Thank you for your support, ranch hands. To be somebody says how to be a ranch hand. Somebody called me that says how to do that. Honestly, you go on to Patreon and they do their thing by putting that all together for me. I don't know, honestly. But the Patreon folks seem to be answering all questions and doing all of it. And to be a ranch hand's $5 a month for during the series that I'm doing that you feel is good. Hey, I appreciate that. I'm not telling you, oh, you turn it off. Well, going to Italy, you don't need to really see me. You know what I mean? So any participation is good in any way. I appreciate it. All right. Well, we've hit 21 minutes. Tell me if that's too long. It probably is. I'll see you next episode. Will be on finishing the panels. All right.
This has been a production of Motorhome Rehab Ranch.